Douglas Cooling and Heating, serving the Birmingham area for 38 years. 988-3706. That's Douglas.
I'm James Spann. This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Monday, the 6th of June. And guess what? It's hot, and it's going to stay hot. Let's check some of the Skycam shots around the network. First off, coming from Trussville. Just hardly a cloud in the sky. You can forget showers out there today. That's coming from Chalkville Mountain Road. From Tuscaloosa, a hazy, hot summer day. And down at Demopolis, looking over the Tombigbee River. That's always a nice scene there. View from the Demopolis Civic Center. Yeah, big old ridge, 588 on the height contours. It's 5,880 meters, where the pressure is 500 millibars. And that's hot, man. It's centered right over Arkansas and Missouri and much of the nation. The exception, of course, is the west, where they've got the big trough, in the northeast. And accordingly, temperatures match that pretty nicely. In fact, we'll start with the Alabama numbers, and yeah, come on now. Alexander City, again, I question the data integrity there. It's been running about 3 degrees too warm for months. I think most folks are in the mid-90s. Gadsden, the cool spot, they've got 91. Birmingham at 96, Tuscaloosa 97. Those are at 2 o'clock, and I don't think the numbers change very much tomorrow. And around the nation, you can see we've got upper 90s into Omaha, Nebraska, almost up to Des Moines, Iowa. It's just hot all across the center of the nation, but it's cool out west. Look at the 50s out there. And up in New England, temperatures are only in the 70s. That sounds pretty good. Check the watch warning map. Things are quiet around here, as you might expect. Got some issues out west with wind. And even a winter weather advisory and winter storm watches up there for parts of the Sierra Nevadas in California. Convective outlooks, and this is the time of the year where they look like that almost every day. The organized severe weather risks are way up north, from Montana back over to the Great Lakes. And down here it says sea text, and that's for the possibility of pulse afternoon storms. And this is wet microburst season, which means any of the storms that form during the intense summer heat can produce local areas of strong straight-line winds, but those are not organized at all. And again, really, our next organized severe weather more than likely will be in the fall tornado season, which is November, December, unless we have a tropical system. Check the QPF chart, and again, these charts are not very helpful in summer because, one spot might pick up 1 inch of rain, but everybody else gets nothing. You know how that works, and tries to average it out. And bottom line is widespread rain not likely. We do note the heavier rain showing up down to the southeast of Miami. That's with a tropical system coming up from below. In fact, let's take a look at that thing. The convection is trying to gather around the center, or a CDO. Not yet, but the NHC guys have ramped that up to a 50% chance of developing. It's in the Caribbean, south of Jamaica. Jamaica man. And there's a look at the visible satellite shot, and it's pretty disorganized. We'll kind of keep an eye on things down there, and we'll see how it goes. It's got a window where this thing might get its act together in the short term, but later I'm afraid the winds aloft will do it in. Check the modeling on this thing, and the models are all over the road. Most of the more reliable ones want to move it up into the Gulf of Mexico. And keep in mind, we haven't looked at these in a year or so. The Clipper, that's a statistical model. The dynamic models are the other ones. And one of the better ones, the GFDL, brings it up to a tropical depression. Then it just fizzles out, down there below Cuba with no major issues. So we'll keep an eye on that. But the odds of that impacting Alabama's weather are very remote. Maybe affecting South Florida, Miami, Fort Myers, something like that. We'll see. It's very early in the season. And quite frankly, the early season systems can be beneficial. What we need is something like that, a disorganized wave or a depression coming up here and just making it rain for 2 days. We really need that. But I don't think it's going to happen with this thing. We'll check the GFS, the 12Z run. This is valid at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. If anything, the 588 ridge is actually stronger, pretty much right over the Tennessee Valley. And again, I don't think the numbers tomorrow will be a lot different than those of today. Mid-90s are likely, maybe upper 90s in spots. Wednesday, same thing. The if you look at the numbers coming off the model guidance, they're trying to bring it down to the low 90s, kind of down toward climatology, but because of the lack of soil moisture, mid-90s are likely. We'll leave it there. And look, we are in that season where every day there's some chance of a pop-up storm somewhere, but the chance looks awfully small through Wednesday. Thursday, same thing. You might see a blip on radar, but just hot, hazy, mid-90s. End of the week on Friday, reaches a little weaker. Winds aloft, light and variable, and down below that, I don't know. We'll mention widely scattered afternoon storms. Don't get your hopes up. Saturday, starting off the weekend, surface low at Chicago. All the active weather stays north. And Sunday, pretty much the same deal. Hot, hazy, widely scattered afternoon storms, highs in the mid-90s, probably 94 to 97. And a week from today, still got that 588 ridge. The axis a little west of here. We got a northwest flow aloft, and sometimes you can have little an MCS come down from the northwest if the upper air configuration is right, but certainly not enough evidence to support it there, and we stay hot, mid-90s. We'll check the end of the forecast, June 22nd. Pretty powerful shortwave up in the northeast, but around here, not much happening. Although, look at that. That's trying to suggest some little chunk of continental air tries to nose down into North Alabama. It can happen in June. It's not impossible. It just doesn't happen very often. And I would probably imagine that might disappear in future runs. Don't be shocked if it does. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes on the blog. The next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And if you're local to us, we invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340 in Birmingham at 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless.
Being Alabama's news leader means digging deeper to get you the facts, working harder so you have all sides of the story, and not being afraid to tell the truth. Every day you award us by making ABC 3340 Alabama's most watched news. And now the Associated Press has named us Alabama's most outstanding news operation. That's 9 times since 1996, more than all other stations combined. And that's 9 more reasons you should trust the news leader. ABC 3340.